Hi guys, and happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, April 3rd, and it's a sunshiny day, kind of. We rained all day yesterday in the Chicagoland area, and today it's kind of sunshiny, but I think we have rain forecast for the next 7 days, and a possibility of snow overnight one of the nights. Yeah, I said that S word in April. Crazy. Okay, so we're going to continue our catalog tour. Today's stop is on page 77. It's the Ornate Thanks. It has 19 stamp sets and had a matching edge dies. Now don't worry, if you like edge dies, there's some coming up in the new catalog, but I really like these. They were so nice. So, and there was 9 of those. And then you had all the stamp sets. These main greetings, and then what you could put in the inside and not. We're also going to be using, also retiring, a lot of people are sad about this, on page 155, the Prussian Floral 3D. Now the set retired, I think, a year ago, and now they're retiring this. But it's a great little swirls. Don't worry, lots of great folders coming in the new catalog, and one has even been carried over from the January to June to already go into the main catalog. So here's the card we're going to do today. Very simple, very basic, but a couple steps that are going to keep you on your toes. Now I rarely do white on white, and if I do, I usually pop it up, but for this I'm not going to pop it up, and I'm just going to stay with the white on white the way it is. Maybe we will try to pop this one up. I don't know. We'll see. That way you can choose what you like better. We are featuring that stamp set, that folder, and all of our retiring in colors. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me come over here really quick. Grab a piece of basic white. Oh my goodness. Had scraps left in it. Here's a piece of basic white. So we're going to cut off 4 1/4 by 11 for our top fold card. Score at 5 1/2, just your normal size. Come down here, or come up here, make sure it's in those 2 edges so it's nice and straight. We don't have an overlap. All right, and we're going to set that aside for right now. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to make, oh, my dog is back from his walk. Can you hear that? I am so sorry. I don't know if my husband knows I'm recording, but the dog may run in here and it may be a wild time. So anyway, so I'm cutting down 2 of these layers, which is the 4 by 5 1/4. One I'm going to use today, one I'm going to put up here in my little receptacle for later use. Okay, now here comes the fun. To protect your work surface, either put down a paper towel, or I have a chamois from the dollar store. Love the chamois. Just love them. All right, and I'm going to put my stamp up there that I had on there, because yesterday, after I showed the In Bloom, I was missing one of the little flower insides, and oh my gosh, it took me all day to find it. You know what, I'm going to go this way just so my surface is really covered. And I'm going to lay the paper here beside just for kind of like measuring purposes. But let's go ahead and bring in those in colors that we're going to be using. We're going to be using the Marvelous Magenta, Bumblebee, and I'm going to go just Jade, Cinnamon Cider, Misty Moonlight. And I have all of the ends here, the brush ends on this side. I have a block that's a little bit bigger than my card. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scribble on this block with the marker and just try to figure out how far down I want to go. I'm not overlapping these, because once we get to the technique, there will be overlap. So, and if you can't tell where your line is, just put it over the white paper so you can see against the white paper where that line is. Oh, I didn't make a very big strip of that bumblebee, but I think we'll be okay. And I don't know if I left this marker open or what. My cinnamon cider, just, as you can see, isn't the smoothest. And let's finish off with the Misty Moonlight. And I'll go all the way to the end on that. Okay, so I kind of have my stripe there, and you see it's colored more than the size of the card. All right, let's put the card aside for now. Take my spritzer that has water in it, and from up high, I'm just going to spritz onto it. Hopefully I have enough water in there. All right, gonna let it sit for a bit. Let me put that back in the holder over here. Let me move it over. And I did get the card a little bit wet. We'll probably have to use the heat gun. And then I'm going to try to get it over on the card, push it down, and leave it there for a second. Now, oh, and look, I got my finger on the cardstock. It's all right. We're going to leave it the way it is. I'm not going to worry about it. So it's been down for a while. And then I'm just going to tap that edge on the chamois. And we're going to let it dry. Let me go over here. Dry off this on the chamois. Paper towels would work. As you can see, the grit paper just soaks it up. So that's not so great. All right, so let's go ahead. You know what? I am going to put the chamois down for just a second, and we're going to dry it because it is a little wet. But you see how those colors, they're still very distinctive, but you can also see where they're blending. All right, it's going to be a little noisy. Sorry, people. I'm just going to do this so it's just not as wet, because we don't want, when we stamp our saying, to bleed, because these are all water-based, so they will bleed. Go from the back of the card, and it will curl up when you go from the back of the card, but you do want to make sure that back of the card looks dry. Now let's flip it back over. When we do this, this will flatten it just a little bit more. All right, and then unplug. I never leave my heat gun plugged in. Never. All right, so that's mostly dry. I'm afraid to touch it now since I've already got a mark on there. Yep, it's dry. All right, we're gonna leave the lock out. I'm gonna show you why in a second. We're gonna come over here and grab the Stamparatus. And the reason I leave the block out, look, perfect for holding on to that lid. And I do have a little bit of a, yeah, I have a little bit of a bubble here in my desk area. All right, so I'm going to line this up so it's straight. Put my magnet down. Look, I'm trying to hide that piece. I don't want to see that piece. All right, and then we're going to take, I'm going to use the thanks. And I'm going to position it up there. You know, maybe, because we're going to be using the hinge method. No, I'm going to leave it there. I think we'll be okay. I'm even with one of the hinges, so we should be okay. And I'm going to come over, pick it up, and then we're going to start in on our colors. And here's our colors in that same order. So here we have Magenta Madness, not the other magenta that I've been calling it throughout my videos. See, it only took me a month to, or a couple weeks, to get over saying the wrong name. So we're going to bring that over. I'm going to push down. Yes, I have my little dry erase eraser somewhere, but I'll just use my fist this time. Hold it up. See, that T is not great. I'm going to come in and use the heel of my hand to make sure it makes contact. There you go. Perfect. I do have chamois that I've cut in half. We're going to clean off that plate. Ooh, did you see that I moved that? I hope I didn't move that. We're going to, you don't want it to be too wet because you're going to transfer color. Then we're going to go down a hinge and our next color, which is Bumblebee. All right, close that up because you know how I am with open stamp pads. And let's bring that over. That came out pretty good. Excellent. Go ahead, get Bumblebee off the plate, get it off the stamp. Come down to the next hinge. And this is Just Jade. Ooh, got a lot on there. But don't worry. Oh my gosh, I really got messy. Don't worry though, it won't transfer because we're only putting pressure where that is. And between that and the magnet, that part of your glass should not touch the paper. See, again, that T didn't want to take. So where you do have to be a little careful. There, I'm okay with that. Ooh, let's get all that extra Just Jade off there. Yeah, look, I must have water underneath there. That T does not want to stick too good. All right, down one more hinge. Cinnamon cider. Oh, look, I did get a little bit of a green edge right there. Oh, I should have cleaned it off before I stamped. Oops. But what are you going to do now? You'll be fine. Maybe I'll put a jewel over it. It must be the way I have that T down. All right. Anyway. And last but not least, last hinge. And we're doing Misty Moonlight. Maybe I go that way. Maybe if I go that way, it won't get as many edges. Now see here, you have to kind of keep it in place because you have less things hinged, so it has a tendency to move a little bit more. We want to make sure that T is down there. All right, and I'm happy with that. Except for that mark and that mark. But, and you know what? I did buy a sand eraser, but I'm not totally sold on them. It is what it is. All right, so now we're going to take this and we're going to run this through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up just to the edge of where those S's are. Not going to be straight because it looks like I didn't stamp straight, but it's okay. We'll get over it. All right. Look at your platform for a 3D embossing folder, which is what the Parisian Flourish is. You're using plate 1 and plate 4 only. Remember, either go through this direction or go through with your fold first. You do not want to have your fold be the last thing that goes through. By the fold, I mean the book fold of that, because it can crack your folder. I'm talking lots of pressure here. So I'm going to do side to side, and I'm only going to go up to where, let's see if it'll let me do it this way. I only have it to there, you know, I'll just cover the whole thing. And I'm going to run it through. It'll go really easily until you get to that part where you're embossing. Oh, that went really easy. Did I forget something this time? That went through a lot easier than the last time. Let's see. Let's see. Oh my gosh, no, look at that. And I kind of like that. Now it looks kind of like that little mark is part of the flourish. Okay, still don't know about that mark though. Anyway, I digress. All right, Parisian flourish, retiring. Ornate, thanks, retiring. Oh, and I sorted out, because I have the new catalog. I sorted out, look at all of my, oops, those are extra papers on my desk. Look at all of the embellishments that are retiring. All of these. So I'm not going to use one today. Maybe I will tear up that Ornate Thanks. That really bothers me. But anyway, all of those are retiring. Pull them from my stack. So now only the ones that are remaining are in my little stack here. Yep. Quite a few. Quite a few. Let me put that back out of the way. All right. So now we have this. We have our white cardstock that I've managed to keep away and not, oh, look, one of those dropped. All right. It's going on there. It just wants to be on there. All right. We'll put a few more on there. I wasn't going to do embellishments on this one, but we will. All right. And whenever I run it through, I use either the multi-purpose glue, the green glue, or I use my tear and tape. Just because after you've run this through an embossing folder, it seems like you're more likely to tear your paper because you've broken down those fibers by going through the machine. Because it is a lot of pressure on there. And I make sure on the side where there's a lot of that water, I usually make sure it's a little bit bigger than, and I'll fold it back over. All right, what I mean by that, burnish it. Oh, I should have got out my take your pick tool. I'll rely on my one nail for right now. So where there's extras, fold back over. There's a little bit over it. This is the one where you have to be careful, because this is the one where sometimes you have to apply it or burnish a little bit more. All right, fold that back over. Let me go over on this side. Oh, and I have that underneath there, so it may not want to come up because I put that tape under there. There we go. We got it out. Yep, see? Reburnish it so it stays down. All right. Yes, I said I was going to use dimensionals. I didn't. Sorry. Put it over there. Lay it down. Let's grab, I don't even know what that fell off of. I think that fell off of the, oh, yeah, because these are, yeah, see? Yeah, because these are retiring too. These were brought out for the buy ahead, the product spotlight, and they're going bye-bye. Even though the Waves of Inspiration and the die, or Waves of the Ocean, Waves of the Inspiration. Here, I can't see it that far. My contacts have been in for a week, so they're not as great. But yeah, they're retiring too. But they really were never a thing. They were part of a special promotion. So there you go. There's that one today. Here's my original one I made a little bit earlier using that Ornate Thanks. We didn't use any of the dies. We used a retiring folder instead. And we reused all of the retiring in colors. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great Sunday. Hope your weekend went well and stay safe this upcoming week.